Sin was heavy, but chains break at the weight of your glory. I needed shelter, I was an orphan. Now you call me citizen of heaven. When I was broken, you were my healing. Now your love is the air that I'm breathing. I have a future, my eyes are open, 'cause when you call my name,
Hello, good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful morning out. It's what did I see? 32 degrees. What has happened to me? That's a beautiful morning. It's a beautiful day anyway, right? Because we wake up and we get to enjoy. And Christmas is almost here. Isn't it a beautiful time of year when you're anticipating this big event? You're anticipating or excited. Uh, to me, that it's the best. It really is the best. Every time I go in the grocery store, now I'm buying presents, and then or the well, mostly Meyer, but not the grocery store. But it just, oh yeah, we should get that. Oh yeah, and next thing you know, I'm out a couple $100. It just doesn't seem to end. Oh gosh, who do we have with us this morning? We have Chuck B. Was first one on this morning. He says, shalom, gentlemen. Brian Fleming's here. Good morning, men. And Ken Gooch has commented. He says, good morning, fellow brothers in arms. Chris Connolly, good morning. And I think that's all the comments we have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 comments. We only have 7 people connected, though, so that's a pretty good percentage. Good morning, Connie. Good morning, Jody. Good morning, Vivian. That's 7. Okay, now we're good. I love you guys. This is awesome. Today's verses are from 2 Samuel, and Tom talked about them yesterday, and we're going to go just a little bit further on them today, and then he can do a little bit more tomorrow, and then we're off for 2 days for the holiday. 2 Samuel 17, he is, well, let's pull it up. I got it here. Okay. And the men of the city came out. He had sent, now we have to remember yesterday, he had sent a message to Joab to have, gosh, I forget his name now. All of a sudden I'm like, he had Uriah pushed up to the front line so he'll be killed or injured in battle. And now it's happening. And the men of the city came out and fought with Joab. And some of the servants of David among the people fell. Uriah the Hittite also died. So we always talk about is the fact that he had Uriah killed, but we leave out the part where all the men that fought with him died as well. David's lie has been so compounded now. His efforts worked. This is exactly what he planned. But now David's sin has caused multiple deaths, not just one, multiple deaths. That's sometimes we forget about these things. And then Joab sent and told David all the news about the fighting. And he instructed the messenger, when you have finished telling all the news about the fighting to the king, then if the king's anger rises and he says to you, why did you go near the city to fight? Did you not know that they would shoot from the wall? Question mark. So to me, Joab is covering his ground here. He makes sure there's a message sent. But then he's telling, he's anticipating David's reaction. He's saying, whoa, David is going to, he's going to blow up. It's to me, I think that generals and probably even up to this date, probably are, when they give orders, take orders from our president, they want it somehow made known that it was that person's call, not theirs. Protection, self-protection, I'm sure. But I love in verse 20 how he goes, when the king's anger rises, why did you go? This is right out of Judges 8, when Abimelech was conquering the Shechem, and he was going from town to town and capturing them and burning down the cities. He was attacking a fortified tower, and a lady pushed a millstone off the top and hit Abimelech in the head, not killing him, but gravely injuring him. So he had one of his servants put him to death so he wouldn't go down in history as a man killed by a woman. He wouldn't be the first. And so, but it goes back. That goes back that far. That's what Joab in this particular instance is referencing. He knows about Abimelech, and they all have been taught about it. So he knew David knew about Abimelech, and he knew that this was not a great strategy. And to be put in that position again, he wanted, it was he wanted it common knowledge. I believe that he understood. Did you know that they would shoot from the wall? Who killed Abimelech, the son of Jerubbaal? Did not the woman cast an upper millstone at him from the wall, so that he died at Tevez? Why did you go near the wall? When you say you shall go, your servant, your Uriah, the Hittite, is dead also. So David, he knew David. That's what going to be David's response, or at least that's what he thought it was going to be. And you'll find out tomorrow what his real response was. David's sin. I don't know how else to. You'd like to say his mistake, but it just seems like judgment mistake, maybe. But it's really his sin. He took a sin of committing adultery, and then he compounds the mistake, thinking he can cover it up. So he's creating another sin to cover up a sin. This is the logic. And then he sends many people to their death to cover up the cover-up. So whatever the initial sin was, it is made much worse by the ensuing cover-up. And I thought to myself yesterday, as I'm doing this, I'm going, "Oh, this isn't unique at all. This is, I'm sure this has happened thousands of times in history, right? And where power decides they want something illegitimate, conscience resists, and then systems are changed to make it possible. And then there's a fall guy. Responsibility is diffused or pushed aside. It's made it look like you can't tie the initial thing to the person that caused it. This is pretty much a strategy. I did some research yesterday, and I was looking at it and I looked online to see if I could find instances where something similar to this has happened. And the one that kept coming up the most was Henry II. He had during his time on the throne, he had a priest that was archbishop, actually, Thomas Becket, who was frustrating him to death. He just didn't. The guy seemed to be a thorn in his side, and he made a statement to his underlings. He goes, "Will no one rid me of this turbulent man?" Well, the knights took that as permission, and they went out and killed him. They had no direct order to do it. It was people, his subordinates, not the king himself, that made the kill, and that gives him plausible deniability, which I love. That I'd heard that years ago in a movie, and I just it's a believable deniability that makes, it's deniability that makes sense. Politicians have used this for years. They're still using it to this day. So and as I read it, I go, yeah, it's not exactly the same. It's not adulterous, but it's got some stuff, and and I'm thinking to myself, what about Watergate? Remember Watergate, the biggest scandal of the 70s, the biggest scandal of maybe the 20th century, as far as politically goes. You had a political party that was in charge. They break in to a headquarters for the opposing party, and just to get information to help them win the next battle, to help them help them keep power, right? And in suing to cover up, tapes are hidden. A cover-up starts, and the cover-up becomes the greater sin again. It ended up costing Richard Nixon his job. He had to resign in shame. He was pardoned by his vice president, who took over his position. There were so many things that run in parallels. David will pay a heavy price for this. We know this, and you'll find out in the coming days with these devotions. David will pay a heavy price. Just like Nick said, I just love how history repeats itself over and over again. We think we're so smart. We think God doesn't see what's going on. And it couldn't be further from the truth. That's what I have for you today, boys. I hope it was a blessing. Get ready for Christmas. This is the last time I'll be on before Christmas, so have a Merry Christmas and a firmly rooted day. And may someone see Jesus in you today. Peace.